Hold on a minute. This is not the summer holiday. This is unemployment. Why am I such a mess? So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. My hands may be a bit dry just cause. Today I'm actually currently filming like a hair video. So if you want to know like how I got my curls like this, then it will be in that video. And I thought whilst I'm doing my foundation stuff, I would talk to you guys about kind of life post-graduation and the anxieties that like kind of I have felt kind of post-graduation. I already know what I'm doing post-graduation. I kind of have a plan set, but before I had any clue, because getting my life sorted was pretty much a recent thing, I had a lot of anxieties, and I thought I'd come and talk, you know, with you and chat about it, because you never know, maybe some of you have felt it as well. So if you want to know about my hair and like if you want to know about my hair and all of that, will be in a separate video. And without further ado, let's get into beating my face. Basically, once I finished my exams, right, I was all, you know, happy and elated and oh my gosh, exams are finished, like wow, I actually made it through my degree. Everyone is super elated about the fact that obviously they finished their degree. Everyone's in jubilations, everyone is just happy. And after like a couple days after like partying and stuff, it really hits you that hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, because after like any exam period, it's usually, well, growing up, it's usually the beginning of the summer holidays now. So you're looking forward to rest, you're looking forward to like linking up with your friends and just living your best life. And that's what my approach to summer was. I'm gonna start living my best life. And then you realize that actually this is the beginning of the rest of your life. This is not the summer holiday, this is unemployment. Triggering. So, but it's true, like this is the beginning of the rest of our lives. There's no such thing as a summer holiday anymore, because holiday from what? Like, now we're full-time adulting. I think it causes a lot of anxiety. Sorry, I'm trying to find my eyebrow pencil. Why am I such a mess? And I think that causes like quite a lot of anxiety, because nobody talks about that liminal place of I'm not a student anymore, I'm actually like a working adult, or I'm self-employed, or I've got to find a job or whatever. Like no one talks about that place in the middle where you're now transitioning from having pretty much everything planned for you. Like, you know, once it's the summer holidays, you've got a couple of months off, and then once September or October, whenever your whatever starts, whether that be sixth form, the next year up in secondary school, or like another year in university, or maybe you're moving on to a master's degree, you know, when the fall comes around or when the autumn comes around, you have plans, you know, you're going to move on to the next stage. And it just seems so weird now that actually the next stage is completely decided by me, and if I don't work at it, the next stage is unemployment. The next stage is I have nothing to do, but I'm still eating, I'm still going out with my friends. And I feel like post-exams makes you realize just how expensive life is. This whole, oh, I'll just stay at home and I won't spend money thing, it's an ideal really, because even when I'm at home, my bank account is lowering. My bank account is lowering. I haven't even done anything. I've just breathed, just trying to afford basic amenities. And still, without me really being aware, I'll go onto my banking app, my balance has decreased. I feel like it does set in quite a bit of fears about what the future holds, particularly like when you don't know what you're trying to do, or maybe you haven't got post-university kind of figured out. It takes a toll on you, man. And I think some of the things that, like, yeah, obviously there's anxieties about joblessness, and I think a lot of both myself, I'm not wearing earrings. Fun fact, I actually don't like wearing earrings, like I actually don't, but or not that I don't like wearing earrings, I just stick to basic stud earrings. Like, you guys have never seen me really change my earrings unless it's an event. Like, I'm so fearful about my ear piercings closing up, because I have had several ear piercings. I had the top of my ear pierced, I've had my tragus pierced, and all of them closed. Literally one night my earring will fall out, the next morning it's like I never pierced it. So I'm so fearful about my ear piercing closing, so I always keep earrings in. That's just a little side note. But yeah, many of the anxieties that people have post-graduation is about post-university joblessness, and that's a real thing. Like, I know a lot of people, like the economy that we're living in right now, the world that we live in, it's not guaranteed for everyone to get a job. Like, I think I take that for granted because I went to a really good university, and you know, being a graduate from particular institutions automatically sometimes just puts your employment prospects in a really good place. Like, not for everybody, but most generally, that's why people usually apply to good universities, not just because they're going to be academically challenged or propelled or whatever, but because, hey, I'm trying to increase my life chances here. But that's not the case for everybody, and some people do leave university and have nothing to do. And for that, I would definitely say, like, hold in there. Like, if you know what industry you want to work in, and like you're applying for positions and it's not really coming your way, maybe like start off at a lower position than you kind of anticipated, which can sometimes be a huge blow to your system. But also, I think, take time to work on your own stuff. I think the internet and life in general has created a lot of opportunities to do things which demonstrate your interest in a particular field. And I know this is harder for like some corporate kind of industry. So like, I can't say, oh, just, you know, if you want to be a banker, don't work in a bank, like show your interest in banking in a different way. I don't know how that thing kind of works, but for example, if you want to get into production, like start working on your own content and just show your interest before that, you know, secure job comes. But I also think just be patient. Like, the right thing will come along. You just have to give it some time, be patient. And sometimes that's annoying, like having to wait. And I have loads of videos about being patient and having to wait for the ideal thing. So I'll put some of those in the iCards as well. They may help. But also, I think some of my anxiety was surrounding what am I interested in. I think when you come to particular institutions, and if you go to like a Russell Group university, there's this huge culture of corporate is best. You're pretty much coming to university to increase your prospects of working in the corporate world. And when I say corporate world, I kind of mean the traditional places of like, this Sasha Buttercup powder is actually going to be the death of me. Corporate spaces like banking, what else? Consulting, law, investment banking, what else? What else do the people then do? Stuff in tech. You're gonna go and start off your own startup and it's gonna be the next Facebook. Like, that's the sort of thing that people kind of push you to do. And if you say you want to do something creative, it's kind of like you're wasting your time. Like, I even remember talking to my mum about the fact that, like, oh, when I go post-graduation, like, I really want to go into business. I have a passion about business, I have a passion about marketing, branding, PR, stuff like that, and like just starting my own thing in those industries. And she was like, well, then why did you go to university? And I'm thinking, to get an education? Like, she was so dumbfounded. Like, why would you go to, if you knew you wanted to be in business, then why didn't you go and study business? Why did you go and study political sciences? Like, why would you go and study sociology if you know you want to work in business and start your own thing? Like, you wouldn't have had to go to university for that. And the truth is, like, sometimes when, like, we can all sit here and be like, oh, just follow your passion and stuff like that, but when particular people have certain ideas of what you should be doing, and like your peers are getting internships and everyone's doing spring week and grad scheme applications and stuff, and you're just there like, I'm just going to take the risk and work in a more creative field, or I'm just going to take the risk and work in a startup where I'm going to take a chance and be self-employed. Like, so many people look at you like, okay, you're very brave. And to be honest, I have really supportive friends. I have amazing friends who were like, yeah, that's you living a dream, like, go do your thing, boo. But at the same time, you kind of see everybody like, oh yeah, that's what everyone should do. Like, everyone's working towards self-employment. Actually, you're living your best life, Courtney. Or everyone should, you know, aspire to kind of start their own thing, and you're just doing it early. Like, we're so proud of you for doing it so young. But then it's like, if it's so profound, why aren't you doing it? You're still applying to grad jobs and stuff. So surely I'm doing something wrong, because I'm doing everything that not everyone is doing, and everyone is still telling me I'm doing a good thing. Then why aren't more people doing it? Like, it scares me so much, because like, in a space like this, everyone from first year knows, like, okay, so what's the deadline application for this law firm, that investment bank? What's the deadline application for this consultancy firm? Like, everyone knows and everyone is working towards that. And when that's kind of not your goal, it can feel very isolating. And I think I've had a grad job kind of secured since first year. It's in a very completely different field, and it actually makes it sound like I did go to university to just waste my time. But at the same time, I know the value coming to university has had for me, and also I think an education is kind of necessary and invaluable, particularly when it gives you the credibility and the clout that you need to move through this world. Let's be real, like, people aren't, well, unless I go into academia, people aren't necessarily going to be asking me about Foucault and all of that, and having that knowledge may not necessarily directly be useful, but university has taught me so many skills of like analytic skills and knowing how to problem solve and teamwork and stuff like that, but also how to push myself. I think I've been in the most strenuous time of my life, with so many deadlines, so many things kind of required of you, you having to kind of push yourself. I haven't done my eyebrows and I'm so relaxed. Why am I so relaxed? You having to push yourself to be kind of definitely self-sufficient and self-motivated. And so university has taught me skills that, yeah, maybe I could have learned them outside of university, but university was a great like microcosm to learn it in. I don't regret coming to university at all. I think one thing for me and the anxieties about like post-graduation was definitely, am I still gonna live my best life? Because you only live once, you get what I mean? Like, I'm only 21, but I know that life is short. I'm a very purpose-driven person. Like, I want to know my purpose on this world and I want to deliver it. Like, I don't want to live my life, okay, how do I put this? Like, because I'm a very purposeful person, I hate wasting my time. And so I don't want to just put my foot in the water and explore. Like, I want to know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And even if like it does require a bit of time not working, I want to know why I'm not working. And that's kind of how I want to live. So for me, there was this huge battle of, okay, do I work in creative industries? Do I work on creating content? Because let's not lie, this stuff makes money. Do I continue to brand myself? Do I continue doing what I love? I love to speak at places and traveling around the country to speak. Or do I do a post-grad because, you know, why not add to my resume? Or do I go and work at these big firms? Because everyone's talking about they don't really want to work at these big firms, but they work at these big firms because they know that they'll save a good amount of money in the first couple of years of working. And for me, corporate in my head was always, oh, if I want to work corporate, that means I'm working investment banking, that means I'm working law. And I was never fully sold on it because I don't want to do something I'm not passionate about. But then I spoke to my friend Adobe and she was like, well, ideally, if you were to work at a big company that's like not a startup or you're not doing your own thing, where would you work? And I said, L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, like these big companies on their marketing operation side. And she was like, Courtney, that's corporate. Like, that's corporate work. And I'm thinking, no, it's not. Like, corporate is banking, investment banking, tech, and she was like, no, it's very much so corporate. And so I'm here thinking, oh, so I do want to be a corporate babes. I just want to be talking about foundation and colour and product development and all of that. And I think it's very important to do your research because of stuff like that. Like, I had ruled out so many things and I thought, oh, I'm only going to have to stick to this sector. I'm only going to be able to like start my own stuff and work in these groups before I can really have experience in the field that I want to. And I was thinking, like, I don't want to tell people I want to work, I think I said this in another video, but I don't want to tell people I want to work in beauty because they're going to think I want to be a makeup artist, and that's not what I want to be. And even though like I make wigs and I love making wigs and I've been a hairstylist since I was 16 and I've been doing this, I've been working towards a different sort of dream, whether that be having my own company, well, definitely having my own company, working like higher level in a different company. And I know I'm going to do it, I know I'm going to achieve it, but for me, it's just how do I plan myself? And also being selfish enough to take the time to know that, hey, Courts, like, I know that you have anxieties surrounding post-university life, and it's totally fine to have those, but I want to know that every month post-graduation is going to be me living my best life. And that's not necessarily me turning up or spending all my money or, I don't know, living lavish or drinking. No, living my best life for me is just knowing that everything I'm doing is working towards this goal, and I know that goal is going to make me happy. I know that goal is going to make me content with life, you know? So for me, it was all about, once I leave graduation, like once I graduate, I'm still a young babe. Like I'm actually 21. I shouldn't be rushing to get my career set. Yeah, I should be starting my career, and everything I should be doing should be pointing towards, like, one thing my friend Lynn told me recently, which really like was a click moment, was when a company or when anyone reads your resume, it should read like a journey to this thing. From when you started working, from any experience that you've gotten, it should all be a pointer to, I was working towards this goal. Whether that is your goal when you're 50, 60, 70, your goal when you're 35, it should all point towards that. And anything that doesn't really point towards that or doesn't really help that. And I think for me, it was important to realize that I do have a goal. And if you don't have a goal, then test different waters to see what you like. But I think always start where you are most passionate. So in terms of like finding a career that you want to go down, I think start where you are passionate. If you're passionate about hair and beauty, there is a corporate side to that, there's a creative side to that, there's a self-employed side to that, there's a employment side to that. Decide what it is you want to do. If you want to work in investment banking, figure out the necessary steps to go that way. If you're passionate about cars, find out the different ways you can work with that. I think start off with your passion and research around it and see what you can achieve. But for me, the fight between corporate and creative, I think that I will never be a creative and I will never take that title. Not because being a creative is bad. I know sick creatives and I think we are all creative people. But when I say a creative, you guys know what I mean. Like they live to create art forms, content, stuff like that. But I don't think I'm a corporate babes either, and I think it's fine to be a mix of both. I think it's fine I think we're just looking for very rigid groups to kind of fit in, and though I do create stuff and I am a creative person, I am not a creative and I'm not a corporate babes, you know. I'm just not going to label myself anything. I do what I do. I have creative moments. I do create stuff. You can call me a creative if you want to, but I'm not a creative. I guess that's just nuances in words and your definitions of them, so it's not really that deep. Sorry, I'm really talking about me here, but like I don't feel like we should ever close off any door. I think you can strategically use any field to assist you get towards your goal. And I think going through university and post-university life, you are still so young. You should work on like personal development stuff. You should work on the things you read, the things you consume, the things that you show interest in, working on your character, working on your health. Like, you are still so young that the decisions you make right now are not hugely definitive of your whole life story. I mean, unless you like commit a crime, but it's something that you can still get your life back on track. Do you get what I mean? We know a lot of people who have criminal histories who turn their life around. There are many who don't, you know. I think it's about really creating your own story, and I think graduating has really probed this way of thinking for me, that it's like, what do I want my story to be? When I get to a certain age, or when I pass on, what do I want people to say about me? Do you get what I mean? Or what do I say about myself? And really finding your identity of, for the last 21 years or for the last 17 years that I've been in education, I've been Courtney, the children of so-and-so. My parents make my decisions for me, but I've always been a student. And now I'm going to be Courtney, Courtney who does that. And what do you want to be known for? And I think sometimes that can create immense pressure. I mean, I have had many a sleepless night trying to figure this out. But it's also been a beautiful journey. And now that I've got an idea of who I want to be, it's just running season now. Like, we going hard, we going in, we focusing. So that's basically where I am in terms of my headspace. Or maybe I should put this on my blog. I do have like a blog page called Headspace on my website, www.courtneydaniela.co.uk, and you can watch pretty much all my videos from there. All my videos that are not hair related are on that channel, on that page. So sometimes check it out, you know, support a girl, support your girl. But also, yeah, I just hope that this video kind of helped someone. I've pretty much been rambling, and that's kind of what Chit Chat Get Ready With Me's are about. So but I do hope this helps somebody, and yeah, just thank you for your support, thank you for your love, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Mwah.